Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. Health and happiness aren't found in a bottle of prescription pills or with any fad diet. Instead, we can activate your body's natural ability to heal itself. And that is exactly what we're going to do together here. I'm Sarah Teeple, a women's integrative health practitioner, and I blend the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science of functional medicine to help you heal your gut, rebalance your hormones, and calm anxiety naturally. Here I'll teach you the smart, sustainable, personalized, and fun way to use nutrition, herbs, and healthy lifestyle to feel vibrant, energized, and beautiful inside and out. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Beautifully Balanced. This is one of my absolute favorite topics. So you've heard it a million times, right? If you want to eat really healthily, your ideal foods to focus on are smoothies, salads, and bars like protein bars, superfood bars. They're just touted as the epitome of healthy. Right? They're nutrient dense, raw, they contain superfoods, and they're anti-inflammatory, right? Right? Can you start to sense some skepticism in my voice? Well, absolutely. You should be skeptical. Today, we are debunking the health trend of these big three false health foods, or what I'm calling false health foods: smoothies, salads, and bars. We're going to talk about the issues with these from a gut health standpoint, and most importantly, how you could make them work for you if you choose to eat them, or what you could choose instead. So it's a really exciting episode. As you guys may know, I am a board-certified Ayurvedic counselor and a functional medicine practitioner. So I blend together the East and the West. And in this episode, we're going to have more of an Ayurvedic focus on the core of gut health and why many of these trendy health foods that we're told to consume are actually harming our gut, keeping us constipated, bloated, far from our weight loss goals, and far from our general health goals. I'm going to tell you all about my personal journey here with basically being obsessed with smoothies, salads, and bars, and how before I found Ayurveda, this was really adversely affecting my own digestive health and therefore the rest of my health, my hormones, my mental health. So I want to also tell you that if you're interested in this concept of gut health and a whole different perspective on gut health, we did a really fun and comprehensive intro last week called How Your Gut Actually Works. So if you're interested, please go back and listen to that and share it far and wide. More people need to understand how our bodies and our gut actually works so that they know how to eat, know how to take care of themselves on the day-to-day to live their best life. And that is what we're doing here. So back to today's topic. I gotta say, guys, it is my great honor to de-glamorize these kind of sweetheart, darling, idealized health foods. So not only do they make us feel trapped sometimes, right? Like this is all we can eat to be healthy. If we are looking at a menu, like, oh, we always have to choose the salad, or what can we have as a healthy lunch? It always has to be a salad. What's a healthy breakfast? You have to drink your green smoothie every day, pumped full of tons of protein powders and superfoods and everything but the kitchen sink. These trends make us feel trapped, as in that is all that we can do. When we're getting this messaging that this is what we should be eating, often we're not really paying attention to our bodies and our body's reaction to these foods. We're looking to an outside source to tell us what we should be eating, and then we're just going to eat it or drink it regardless of how it makes us feel because we've been told that is what is healthy. So raise your hand. I'm raising my hand here. If you've ever drank a smoothie and just felt kind of unsatisfied or even kind of overly full somehow, but also still hungry, or just kind of strange afterwards. But you're thinking, well, this was really good for me, right? I had the protein powder, I had the greens in there. So, sometimes we're just doing what we're told to do and not listening to our body. Also, being instructed by the wellness industry to eat these foods makes us feel like we have to go out and keep looking and buying the most expensive versions of these foods, especially the smoothies and the bars. What is the best protein? What has the most types of medicinal mushrooms or the highest number of protein grams or has the least amount of sugar or tons of different superfoods? We're scouring labels, looking at the macronutrients, just kind of driving ourselves crazy with the minutia of choosing the latest and greatest superfoods. So this just feels daunting and tiring, right? And impossible to do. I don't know about you, but I got so tired of this. This is what I was doing before I found Ayurveda, when I was already in the wellness industry for years. And I was kind of doing it, air quotes, the way that Western medicine and health trends and even functional medicine doctors were telling me that I was supposed to do it. And I felt terrible, but I didn't understand what I could be doing differently, or I didn't understand why this wasn't working for me. So I thought there was a problem with me, not with the wellness trend. And thinking in this way, it keeps us fearful. It keeps us out of touch with our body, keeps us scrolling on social media for someone else's answers and looking for solutions outside of ourselves. So that is part of my big soapbox about this. Sorry to be railing against smoothies, salads, and bars. They're not all bad. We're going to teach you how to choose the best ones. But my goal for you and with all my clients is to open you up. So to show you that real food is healthy food and it can be affordable and attainable without breaking your bank or having to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest superfood ingredients and wellness trends. So my goal with clients is always to open them up, expand their diets, and expand their list of yes foods. So I'm going to tell you one more aspect of my beef with these fake health foods. And then we're going to go into the why they're not the best choice for you, and the what to do instead, or how to make them work for you. So diet culture. Yuck. Ick, ick, ick. As you guys probably know by now, my approach to integrative health and to helping you live your best quality of life is very much in opposition to mainstream diet culture. In fact, I hate diet culture. I lived trapped in diet culture for probably between 2 and 3 decades. And this is a longer story, so I'm going to do a separate podcast episode all about this because I think many of you out there are going to identify with it. I want to get a little vulnerable telling you about my history of chronic dieting, body image issues, negative self-talk, a lot of things that probably many of you can really understand and identify with. And I think it's so important that we start to empower ourselves and take a stand against this diet culture and start to eat, drink, live, care for ourselves for a much more self-compassionate reason. This diet culture that keeps us trapped, it's especially geared towards women. We're raised to have body image issues. All of this marketing and propaganda makes us waste extraordinary mental, emotional, and intellectual energy on the way we look, right? I mean, think about all this glorious brilliance that we have to give to ourselves and others. And instead, we are instructed, whether it's overt or more insidious, we're basically told to direct this energy and attention to how we look, and specifically the number on the scale and what size clothing we wear. I mean, it is the epitome of tragic. So we're not doing it anymore. And I'm so glad there's more dialogue about this than there was a long time ago. But there is still a lot of messaging in, even it's considered wellness culture, but I still consider it diet culture. And, not to mention that a lot of the diet food products that are marketed to us are full of fake chemical ingredients They're full of endocrine disrupting or hormone disrupting chemicals, and they're touted as healthy. So, I believe that it's predatory. I believe that it's misleading. And I'm here to just embrace you in the love and self-compassion that you don't have to do it anymore. Let's eat real food. I want to share with you a little fragment of my history. So I am a board-certified holistic nutrition coach and have been since 2013. I had some of my own health issues that I was troubleshooting that led me to this career path. So between about 2013 and 2015 or 16, I was where you might be. I was eating all the perfect plant-based and paleo health foods, eating my smoothie for breakfast, complete with whatever protein powder du jour was the most healthy and had the latest superfoods in it. I was snacking on bars and nuts, or maybe even having that for lunch in place of like a sit-down warm food lunch. And I was having my salad with protein for dinner. And I was doing all these, quote, perfect things. And my health was in shambles. I looked great. Everyone was saying, "Oh my gosh, you look so good, such a yogi. You've lost so much weight." I was also going through a really challenging divorce. So some of these foods I was choosing maybe were more for convenience as well. But also, I certainly wanted to do the most healthy, ideal superfood, throughout my day. So the smoothies, the salads, the bars, and my digestion was suffering. I was chronically constipated. I was often so bloated. I would have digestive pains, but didn't know why. And I was having mounting food sensitivities, or what I thought were food sensitivities. My list of no foods was growing. It had become so long. I already was not eating gluten and dairy, but then it became, oh my gosh, I now have a sensitivity to nuts. Now I don't think I can do soy. Now I can't even eat the occasional red meat that I was eating. And, many, many other potentially problematic foods, or so I thought. But what was really happening is I was not eating correctly for my constitution. I also wasn't eating with this concept of Agni in mind. So in our last episode, we go into the concept of Agni in depth. This means your digestive fire in Ayurveda. And I tell you in the last episode all about how your digestive fire works, how your metabolism, how your gut actually works. So definitely go back and listen to that. But I just want to let you know and to illustrate that even folks who are very informed, very educated about nutrition, wellness, they're up to date on the science. There's research behind some salads, smoothies, and some aspects of what make these foods anti-inflammatory. But are you able to digest them? Are they working for your gut? And often they are not. So that is what I want to debunk today. And I wanted to just tell you how even educated people like myself can fall into this trap. First, a general recap, a little bit about last week's episode about how our gut works. A main takeaway from that episode, and what I want you to remember when choosing your foods, is that your gut and your digestion are a warm and rhythmic process. So by warm, what I mean is that your digestive organs are body temperature, right? They're part of your body. So your stomach, your small intestine, your tongue and esophagus, they're about 98.6 degrees. And they prefer warm foods over cold foods because warm foods and drinks are just easier on them. It's less work for them. They don't have to work to warm up the food to body temperature before allowing that food or drink to pass to the next phase of the digestive process. So in general, warm and hot foods are easier on your stomach, easier on your small intestine to absorb and assimilate the nutrition. Warm cooked food is easier to digest because it is, in essence, pre-digested. Your body makes its own digestive enzymes, its own stomach acids, and those are digestive aids. Those help you digest your food. Those help you cook your food, essentially. But cooking your food ahead of time can really help you do that. And if you're experiencing symptoms like bloating, constipation, those are symptoms of slow, uneven, irregular digestion. And so cold food is going to increase slowness. It's going to increase tension in your digestive tract. So if you have stomach pains, cold really constricts your digestive organs. Think about how cold affects the rest of your body, right? If you step outside in the middle of a chilly, chilly winter's day without a coat on, your whole body constricts, right? Your muscles tense up and tighten. You kind of hunch over. Well, the same thing happens to your digestive tract when you introduce these raw, hard, icy cold foods. So that is some food for thought for you, literally. All right, now we're going to talk about our 3 false health foods and how to either make them work better or what to choose instead. So first off, smoothies. So the first problem with smoothies, and we just talked about it, is the cold, icy nature of most smoothies. You drink your smoothie, especially a lot of you are drinking them in the morning. I know I was. And your poor, sensitive digestive system, it's just woken up from a long night's slumber, and it needs to be sort of coddled and nourished into its day. And instead, we dump a huge icy cold smoothie on it, make it tense, make it start to move irregularly. Not to mention that those smoothies are usually very, very poor food combining. So Ayurveda is very big with food combining, not just what you eat, but what you pair together and how that works or sometimes does not work in your digestive tract. So this goes against rule number 1 of Ayurvedic food combining, and that is do not pair fresh fruit with other foods because fresh fruit digests differently. So it's especially problematic when we're pairing fresh fruit, and that means like raw fruit, like a raw, hard cold apple, raw berries, something like that. But fresh fruit paired with something with protein or fat, which is most smoothies, right? You've got like maybe your nut butter, or your protein powder, or your nut milk or something like that in it. What happens is that slows down the digestion of the fruit and can cause fermentation in your gut. And the natural byproduct of fermentation is bloating. Think about the process of like fermenting beer or making a fermented drink. It produces gas, right? Bubbles. And that's what happens in your digestive tract. So next time you drink a smoothie, and I recommend after listening to this, stop drinking them. But if you're going to continue, notice, see if you feel bloating or abdominal discomfort afterwards. I know that I often did after drinking a smoothie, but I just kept kind of telling my intuition, my body wisdom to shut the heck up because this was a healthy thing for me. So pairing fresh fruit with other fruits with other foods with protein and fat, this can be very problematic for us. So if you must do a smoothie, the rules here, or the helpful hints here, are to keep it simple. Steer clear of those, I like to call them everything but the kitchen sink smoothies. The ones where we've got berries and banana and some mango and some nut butter and some chia seeds and flax seeds and almond milk and water. This is just too many ingredients. Your gut likes to keep it simple. Simple digests better. Simple's better for your metabolism. It's better for your absorption and assimilation. So if you really want to do a smoothie, keep it to 3 or 4 ingredients max. Maybe some blueberries, some spinach, some coconut water. And then let that smoothie sit out to room temp before enjoying it. You can also add a little sprinkle of ginger powder or even some fresh grated ginger. This is a medicinal root or medicinal spice, and it acts as a digestive aid. It also acts to bring some warmth to this cold smoothie. So not just warmth in temperature, but warmth in, if you can just kind of taste ginger, you taste it, it has this warming effect. It increases your stomach acids, your digestive enzymes. It increases your salivation a little bit. And it also pairs really well. It tastes really wonderful with most fruits. So try these smoothie tips and recommendations and let me know what you think. All right. We are actually going to end this episode a little bit early because I just got so excited and talked about smoothies and how to make them work for you or how to not do them at all for 20 minutes. And I want to keep these episodes short, sweet, and digestible. Yes, digestive pun intended. I want to keep them really digestible for you so you can use these tips and enhance your quality of life and your quality of gut health. So make sure to come back next week where we're going to pick up on this amazing practical conversation and we will dive into salads and protein and health bars and the problem with most of them and how to choose ones that are going to be more digestible and healthy for you and your unique body. All right. Can't wait to meet you again next week. Have a great one and I will see you then. Take care. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, you can feel your best naturally. Just try one new thing a week that you learn here and watch your body and life transform. And if you're ready to take this to the next level, learn your dosha, get your personalized holistic plan, and live beautifully balanced, you've got to come see me at sarahteeple.com. That's SARAHTEEPLE.com. There you can learn about how to work with me one-on-one or book a free holistic chat and just tell me what you're working on. I love to hear from you and help you live your best life. So until next time, be well. Oh, and if you love this conversation, please rate and review our podcast. That really helps more people find natural healthcare options. Thanks again and see you soon.